Hello to the prospective accounting 436 students, current accounting 436 students, members of the accounting profession, and anyone who just happened to stumble across this video while maybe lost in YouTube. So this video is going to go over the tic-tac-toe method of document examination. It's a method of document examination that I came up with over the years, and I call it that for two reasons. Number one, because of the use of X's and O's and grid lines, which you'll see. And second, because if I named it after myself, I think it would be relatively difficult for people to pronounce if they haven't heard me pronounce it myself. And again, this is me, Nitin Bodraj. I've been a instructor over at the Quinlan Graduate School of Business at Loyola University Chicago since fall 2013, and I teach Accounting 436, Forensic Accounting and Fraud. So let's start off by going over a situation. So pretend that you are an auditor or a forensic accountant, and for whatever reason you ask the treasurer of School District 538 for a report that shows expenses for the first quarter of fiscal year 2018. And before we move on, I just want to note that I chose the number 538 just based on no real reason. It's supposed to be, this is a fictional example, and 538 is the number of voters in the United States Electoral College. So there's no connection to any real school district 538. Okay, so back to the example. You receive the following document as an attachment to an email, and this is in response to your request. So here it is. It looks like an Excel sheet, and we have everything from the actual information here to all this stuff down here, as well as the header. And in case it's too hard to read, that's okay. There's a Google Docs link in the description for this video, so take a look at one of those, and that'll give you a clearer version of this document. So go ahead and open one of those up, print it out if you'd like. It's a good idea to do so. And then actually pause this video and take some time to examine the file and see if you can find any irregularities. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, I'll assume that you're back, and hopefully you had fun looking over the document. And if you didn't find anything, don't worry. The tic-tac-toe method of document examination is here to help you out. So first thing that I want to point out is that there is a ton of information here, from different columns, obviously, to descriptions, payees, dates to examine, and of course financial information. And one of the things that I really try to get along in my class and communicate to the students is, in audit and forensic work, you don't want to just look at the financial data. It's really easy for our accountant brains to focus on any financial data, and it's understandable. But there's a lot of information that you can find out if you stay away from just examining the financial data. And hopefully the tic-tac-toe method will actually help you out. So there's 3 steps. First one is to divide the document, or really a copy of the document. You don't want to use the originals, but a copy of the document, into separate sections using grid lines. And we're going to examine each box one by one. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you do so, if it looks like everything is fine, what I'm going to have you do is place an X in the box. So let's start with the first row. If you see anything interesting, go ahead and circle it, and thus putting an O in the box. So we'll start off in the top row, and on the top left we have some basic information. C20 is the last cell, it looks like, that anyone messed around with, and we have some font information, but really nothing interesting. So let's put an X there. And then we'll just go across the top row, and really it's all just basic Excel ribbon type of information, so it doesn't look like there's anything interesting in any of those. Then let's move on to the second row, and in this first box Nothing interesting. In the second column, we see, a description about expenses, nothing good there. We have some dates in the third one, but nothing really great and no information there. Now we can go ahead and take a look at this third row and fourth row and fifth row, but just for the purposes of this exercise, let's take a look at this last column. So there's really nothing here, nothing in this cell, nothing in this cell either. But to the astute observer, there's some really cool information here at the bottom right. So if we look at that, we're definitely going to circle it, and let's take a look at it a little further. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at a bigger picture here. And first thing that I want you to see here is really the time, 12:42 a.m. So keep in mind our situation. We basically asked a treasurer for some information from the accounting system, and this individual basically took a screenshot at 12:42 a.m. Anytime that an individual is responding to an audit or forensic accounting request, they really should be doing so during business hours. Second thing is this date, November 23rd, 2018. Well, that's late night of Thanksgiving. So on the 22nd, he or she likely would have been enjoying Thanksgiving. But then after midnight, this individual went to the office and prepared this screenshot. School shouldn't be in session. People are usually on break, even the office staff. So why would the treasurer be going to the school at this hour when he or she should basically be asleep from turkey? And third, and this doesn't have to do with this specific information here, but the astute observer may have noticed that, hey, this is a screenshot and not a report from the accounting system. Why is that? Well, there could be a variety of reasons, one of which may be that the treasurer just didn't know how to pull up a report from the accounting system, kind of doubtful, but another may be that the individual knew rather, that if he or she were to prepare a report from an accounting information system, it would also basically generate an electronic audit trail showing who was in the system at what time to basically create this report. And maybe they're trying to avoid that. So again, as a reminder, this is just an exercise inspired by a real event, but in no way connected to any school district 538. So moving on, a few things to remind you of. First is just because you found a fraud indicator does not mean that fraud has absolutely occurred. You're going to want to find another, or rather you're going to want to find more information about this. Maybe there is a reasonable explanation. Maybe this was done for, I can't think of any, but maybe there was one, but it at least gives you a starting point. Second thing, again, for our accounting brains, we usually want to go right to the financial data, but in this case, the fraud indicator had nothing to do with the dollar figures in the actual document. So that's that. That's the tic-tac-toe method of document examination. It's just a way to break up a document into smaller sections and take a look and maybe find something interesting as a result of which. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me an email at nbodrach@luc.edu. If you're a prospective student at Loyola, or a current accounting student rather, thinking of taking Accounting 436 in the future, well, please do. It's a fun class and we go over this and other things like it. So thanks a lot. Have a great night.